This little video will talk about how to input a referral. It's nearly exactly the same. In fact, it pretty much is exactly the same as how to submit an incident. The only difference might be in the code that you choose, and you'll never likely actually write down no administrative action needed, because this is a referral, right? This is a big issue. That's why we want to remember what makes something an incident versus what makes something a referral. I mean, this is going to be a major problem behavior, right? That's repetitive, or that you've already talked to the parent about. Maybe you've made that phone call already down home to the parent. And so now what we're going to do is actually take a look at the follow-up. You've made the parent contact. You have done your documentation. This is a repetitive problem behavior that's pretty significant. And that means that when we are on Sapphire, we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to the section that says New Referral. We'll click that. We'll get a screen that looks like this. Of course, the first thing we need to do is get our student. Maybe it's Ian Appenzeller. And remember, you can add a student by ID or name. We click his little name. But then we have these two important facts. We have to pick the day it actually happened, this infraction. Maybe it happened today. But we have to change the time so that we can get the best data possible on where and when we need to intervene with positive behavior or punishment or whatever it is that admin decides to do as a result of the referral. So let's again say that this happened, I don't know, maybe it was 10:15 in the morning that this actually happened. So once I have that set, both the date it happened and the time, I click Save. It brings me to a screen like this. There are a number of things here that I don't need to worry about. I don't need to worry about safe to say. I don't need to worry about the offender code. I don't need to worry about outcome determined to be unfounded. Those things I don't need to touch or look at in any way, which is good. Instead, the first thing I want to do, I want to double check that date and time, make sure I got that right. And then I want to make sure that if anyone else is involved, I click the right box. I don't know, maybe another teacher was involved, so I'll click a teacher. Maybe it was another teacher and some other students. Whoever it is. Support staff, maybe we're all involved. Heck, I don't know, maybe it's a bus driver. Who was ever involved or whatever's involved, you make sure you check that down. You want to then pick your location. Let's say this one happened in the hallway. And then we come down to these two tabs. And again, the two tabs that you want to create or use are infraction and student behavior. Those are the two that we'll focus on. So first we add the infraction. Remember now, this is a major infraction. So we're going to be looking at those major codes. This is a referral. Since it's a referral, we want to take a look at the major offenses codes. Remember, down the left-hand side is the behavior. There's the code. There's the definition that we would use as a result. Most of the time, you will not use these Act 26 violations. That's done pretty much by admin. There may be a time when you might use the fight feature, Act 26 violation fight, that kind of a thing. But for the most part, that's going to be left to admin and our school resource officer. The ones that we'll most likely use are the ones that we'll see down below: bullying, destruction, disruption, disrespect, etc., late to class, leaving school without permission, the violation of drug and alcohol policy. Any of these things are major violations. So we would use those. Let's pick one. We'll make it happen for our friend here. So we're going to go down. Let's do major dishonesty. You'll notice that most of the referrals that are major behavior problems have the MA. That lets us know that it's a referral code only, MA. You only want to put in one infraction, just one, choose the most severe. The rest can appear in your narrative. All right, so just the most severe, the rest can appear in your narrative. Choose your student behavior. What did it obtain? Do we know? Maybe not. Maybe it was over a cell phone or a backpack. Maybe it was over an adult in the hallway who wasn't paying attention to the students. I don't know, maybe it's about pure attention and trying to get involved in some horseplay with students. Whatever it would be, you pick. And then again, down underneath that, which tracks did they avoid? Maybe they were in the hallway and they were involved in some, seriously dishonest behavior. So maybe they lied to me, right? So maybe they didn't take responsibility and didn't respect me. And that can let admin know the conversation I had, the things I would have said, how I would have said them. Ian, R is respect self and others, man, and you lied to me, and we're supposed to tell each other the truth. That's how we can have a strong relationship. But you chose not to do that. And that's really hard. I feel like you're not taking responsibility for your own actions, which is something that we encourage you to do as an adult. That kind of a thing. Then, down below, I put my official observable narrative. And I use that word observable because we want behaviors. We don't want to guess. We don't want to assume. We don't want to pretend like we know what somebody was thinking. We want to stick to observable behaviors, observable events, things that we saw, said, heard, those kinds of things. And remember that if we are using other students in the narrative, what do? We use their initials. And we can put those initials in the notes section. So for example, maybe one of the students in my narrative is going to be BH. So in the notes section, I would write BH, Brooklyn Hunter. My description, I can go back, I can keep working on it. Remember, the description goes home to parents. The notes are for admin only, which is why we want to keep students' names out of the description to protect their privacy. In its broadest strokes, this is how you submit a referral. I will say there is usually one thing that you may come upon, which would be the repetitive use of a minor offense, which would be an infraction, becoming a major. So in this case, right, let's go back. We're going to pretend Ian is our person, but Ian has been late to school a lot. So what we want to do is I'm still going to go down and I'm going to find ML. It's the minor behavior, late to class a lot. Now, but this is a referral, not an infraction or not an incident report. So when I come down here and I have my observable narrative, any other students, what I also want to do is put dates late to class. And you would do this for any referral that you're tracking repetitive versions of something happening. So dates late to class, we could say something like Ian was late on 5/6, 5/7, 5/8. Done, right? It shows the fact that he's been late 3 or more times. It's a repetitive behavior. A referral has been filed. That's how that works. One last piece, I think, that's worth mentioning. We're doing a referral. We should have made parent contact by now, and preferably a phone call. That phone call will let us have that conversation. By putting in a referral, now we're able to summarize that phone call. We've talked to the parents. We reached out. I left a message on their answering machine. They called me back. The date and time that call occurred. That way, admin knows you reached out, you left a message, you talked to grandma, whatever it would be, so that they can refer to this kind of stuff in the letter that gets sent home to parents for a referral. So in broad strokes, I think that covers most of what you need to file a referral, some of the differences between the two, and there'll be a quick little summary on the next slide.